right, y'all. Let's talk a little bit story time, right? Um, this story is gonna be about when God tested me before He gave me the blessing. God tests His people before He can bless you in a strange way. This story is gonna stick with me until I cross over in life. Um, I remember a couple years back, I was going through a lot of craziness. I was going through spiritual warfare, had a lot of financial issues, problems, and my wife was sick in the hospital, and out the hospital. And I vividly remember, for some strange reason, that's the story. Yeah. Some strange reason, I kept finding things. When I say finding things, like I was in like random places. Like I went to the supermarket. You know what I mean? I went to the supermarket. A lady left a pocketbook in the bathroom. She rushed. No, let me scale it back. Let me scale it back a little bit. This is how it first started. This was the test before the blessings. Um, I got out my car one day, um, and I stepped down and found the phone. This is how it all started. So when I had got out the car, I was on my way in the house, and there was a phone sitting in my parking spot. So as this phone was on the ground, I looked down, I picked it up, took it in the house. I said, I'm gonna get a person back their phone. And at the time, mind you, I was struggling. Like things was kind of rough. I was dealing with a lot. My wife was in out the hospital. My financial situation was kind of tough. I was just starting my business right before my business took off. So let me show you how God tests you before the blessing. Watch this. And I know that I heard a comment. I seen a comment went down my TikTok channel. Somebody said, "God don't test you." So what you think the story of Job is? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So long story short, let's tell you how this goes. Let's ride with me through this journey. I get out the car, I find the phone. I go in the house, take the phone inside the house. I open up the phone. Ironically, it was no password on the phone. It's like a little Samsung. When I opened it up, I noticed there was like checks that was like somebody took pictures of checks. Was the recent pictures, and it looked like a Spanish lady on the front of it. So I saw the name. I'm like, okay, if the person called, usually if I find somebody's phone, I always say if the person called, I'll just, give them back their stuff. They'll meet me and we'll just, take care of it. Win-win. I don't want no money, no nothing, because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. So I just chop it up before I go in the store. So long story short, the lady called. I gave her the phone back. And I said, all right, boom. Hey, miss, you left your phone, whatever the case may be. Yeah, come meet me. She said, thank you so much. Gave me a hug, gave her back the phone. Now, you know, I go to the airport. I got to pick somebody up the next day, back to back. Watch this. I go to the airport the next day. I get out the car. I'm walking through the airport parking lot after I park on the Delta side in Atlanta, Hartsfield Airport. I found an American Express card. I take it. I break the card in half because I'm looking around. There's nobody around, so it's obviously I can't just hand it to a random stranger. So I take it. I break the card up, throw it in the garbage. All right. So boom. Next day, me and my wife, we about to go food shopping. So we head out to go food shopping, and I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, babe, damn, I gotta pee. Let me just run the bathroom, finish doing your shopping, do what you gotta do. I go to the bathroom. It was a white lady. She ran around me and skipped me to go to the bathroom because it was like a, family bathroom. Men or women. It's a single stool, so you just go in there, lock the door. It wasn't like a certain gender. She skipped me. I'm like, damn, that was foul, but yeah, it is what it is. So I wait for her to come out. I go in the bathroom behind her. I look up as I'm using the bathroom. I look to the left. The Holy Spirit told me to look to the left. It was a bag hanging up on the door, like on a rack that she left behind her. So after I finish washing my hands, I go grab the bag, go look for her. I can't find her. So I look inside the bag. I said, maybe it's a phone in here. She'll call the phone. I'll give it back. Um, and the phone, there was no phone in there. So I put it in my car and I said, if there's a wallet with an ID, I'll just drop it off at the person's house. More than likely, they live somewhere in my neighborhood, so I'm not really worried about it. So boom, I'm in the store. I finish shopping. The lady walks in the same aisle. Ironically, she gets in the same aisle, and there's a brown skinned guy like me. We kind of look similar. She walks and is like, "Excuse me, sir. I'm not mean to be racist. um, anything like that. I'm not that kind of person. Blah blah blah. You know, I'm not judging you because of your color. Did by any chance you seen a bag? I thought it was, you know, somebody looked like you went to the bathroom after me, and I looked at her and I said, "It's me." And they was over there like down the aisle, and I overheard what she said. I said, "I think that is the lady." And she came. I said, "You have it?" I said, "Yep. Come on. I was looking for you. Let's go to the car. I'm gonna go give it to you. I was going to find your address and take it to your house." So walking to the car, she's like, "Man, I was rushing. Da da da. I gotta pick my daughter up. This and the third. You know, thank you so much." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't play that. I don't want other people to go through something I wouldn't want to go through. I wish if I left my wallet, anything, I would want the person to give it back to me. This is how I operate. You know what I mean? I move with principles. You know what I mean? Discipline, and I'm not into that. That's dirty. So boom, ain't hurting nobody. So boom, give her the bag. That day, I just so happened to have on a God is dope T-shirt. So she said, "Man, thank you so much. God is so." And then she looked at the shirt and she started laughing and she gave me a hug. And I said, "Man, God bless. Good luck. You know, have a good day, whatever the case may be." Boom. Next day came, another day. I take my family to the movies now. You know, sometimes we go on Tuesday. You know, it's the cheap Tuesday. Tuesdays is the cheaper days to go to the movies. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking my son to the movies today. I was struggling. We go to the movies. My son like, "Yo, I want popcorn, Dad, whatever the case may be." I'm like, all right. So we go get the popcorn. I go down there. I put my card in the machine. Try to put my card in the machine to pay for it. There was an American Express card inside the machine, so I couldn't put my card in there because it was already American Express card in the machine already. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Ain't no way I'm gonna be able to do this. So I'm like, hey, let me take the card out. Let them know. Cause I'm not gonna break it. Maybe somebody in here did that. You know what I'm saying? There's no way for me to give it back. So I said, "Hey, dude, manager around. Somebody left their credit card." He said, "Oh man, that's nice of you. Thank you." Boom. This was the biggest. Well, no, I'm not. It's not the biggest one. It's like the one that was big before the biggest. Like the last, the step before the last step. It kept getting worse with time of me finding people stuff. No, I missed one. I was driving. I had a client. I was doing Uber, and the client dropped her bag in the car, and I didn't know. So I was going to go pick something up, and I finished working right after that client. It was a good job. I was doing Uber Black at the time. And she called me. It's like, "I left my bag in your car. Did you see it?" I said, "Hold on, let me pull over." And I looked to the back. There was money all over the back seat of the floor, like going down the side behind my seat. And the back said, "Yeah, Mrs. Wright." She's like, "I knew if it was you, you was gonna bring it back." I go to bring the bag back at the Wardrobe Hotel downtown Atlanta, and she gives me 150 and was like, "Thank you so much. I wouldn't be able to get on a plane tomorrow if you didn't bring my bag back." You know what I'm saying? It's like I got my passports, everything in there. So it's all love, miss. You know, it's like, "Thank you so much. God bless you." Boom. Now, boom. Another, I want to say 2 days later, 3 days later, my wife is in the supermarket. And she like, "Babe, you won't believe this." I said, "What?" She said, "I don't know what this is, man. I really feel like you're right. God is testing us." I'm like, "What you mean?" She said, "I went to go grab a shopping cart. And when she grabbed the shopping cart had a bag in it, a pocketbook, a Louis Vuitton bag." I said, "Baby, that's a test from God before the blessings, man. Just bring it to me. I'll take it to their house." Oh my gosh. When I got the pocketbook and I looked at the ID in there, the address was in Noonan, Georgia, which is 2 hours away, almost like an hour 45 minutes from where I live at. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be a long ride. All right, fuck it, man. Let me just go do it. I drove and I got out there. I seen Confederate flags. It was crazy. It looked like back in the days movie. I just kept going. I'm like, Lord, just be with me. I get there. The lady got three big, huge dogs, and I went to go ring the bell. They come running. She's scared. She's like, "What are you doing here?" From screaming from the door. I'm like, "You left your bag." And she's like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You drove all the way out here?" I left that back at that. I'm like, "Yeah, man. You know, I just trying to do the right thing. That's all." So I gave it to her. Drove back. My wife was like, "Yo, it'll be you to keep finding stuff." I was like, "I don't know, man. Every time I find things, I just give it back because I feel like it's a test and it's just the right thing to do to just be humane. You know what I mean? It's the right thing to do. Treat others how you want to be treated is what I was told. So boom, my wife goes to the hospital. After this, she gets sick. She had a lot of stomach pains, and she dealt with some surgery issues. So she's back in the hospital. It's trying to pay my rent now, and I go to the bank because at the time I'm doing Uber stuff, and when I'm driving for people, to make money. So I get my money together to go pay the rent because I had money all over the place. When I get to the machine that day, ATM machine, I'm at Bank of America, and I took a picture of it and took a screen. I did take a picture and I saved it in my other phone. So I get to Bank of America. All right, I got the picture ready for y'all, and I deposit the money. And when I deposited the money, I put I was supposed to put $2,000 something dollars for my rent. When I deposit the money, the machine says, "We're sorry, we can't identify what you deposited. We only was able to identify this. Please put a estimate amount of what you deposited." I'm like, what? I've never seen that a day in my life. And I'm gonna show you proof. They say documentation beats conversation, right? Watch this. On my other phone, look at this. See if you can read it. Let me get out the sun. It's right there. If y'all want to look at it, just pause the screen and look at that. Tell me if anybody ever seen that before. Bank of America. Boom. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Another test. In my mind, I'm hurting, so I could just easily put 10 bins, 8 bins, 9 bins, whatever I want, right? And they just gonna give me the money, right? So I remember I'm sitting in my little car at the time, and I'm looking up to the sky, and I'm like, nah, I ain't falling for this, man. I just feel like this wrong to do is gonna hurt me later on, as bad as I needed the money. I said, nah, I'm gonna do the right thing. I put in the right amount. Told my wife about it. She was like, bro, you crazy. Anybody else would have did this. You laid up in the hospital. Like somebody else would have just win, man. You're a good dude, man. I'm like, I just know, man, how God worked, man. He gonna test you before he bless you. He will test you before he bless you. And then I just know it's gonna come back anyway, man. It's a universal law. Yo, the purpose of this video, and I'm gonna make this one short. I think about 2 weeks later, I get a text message from one of my clients. And I'm building a company. Remember, I'm building this company at the time. I'm not where I need to be. He said, yo, Merry Christmas. I got an early present for you. Head to the house. My wife got a package. So I'm like, what is he talking about, package? I get to the crib, y'all. The wife said, Merry Christmas, man. He said, my husband's not here. He left this for you. It's a plastic bag. I take the plastic bag. I walk to the car. And when I walk to the car, I'm in suspense because it's weird. I turn the bag upside down and dump it on my seat in the passenger side. Stacks and stacks of money fell out the bag. The man gave me $10,000 for Christmas. I say all that to say, I took that money and never looked back. Business started booming from there. Contracts started to come in. My wife got out the hospital. The blessings started to show up. Life got a lot easier. I'm making this video to tell you, whoever you are that's listening to this, if you got this far, don't let temporary gain trick you out your spot. And I know sometimes it be hard because we go through a lot of rough times. And we want instant gratification. I even heard someone tell me like, "Hey man, that's a blessing for you. Why you pushing it away?" I'm like, that ain't God. See, the devil will bless you too, but he coming back to collect in the end. You know what I mean? Trick you out your spot. Just remember the story of Job. Go read it. He, he went to God and said he wanted to test Job. He wanted to put him through a test. He didn't believe in Job's faith with God. Having faith is the biggest key. Remember, God said have faith of a mustard seed. How small a mustard seed is? He didn't believe that Job was really loyal like that and had that much faith that God, claimed that he did. And God said, okay, you can do it. Go ahead. Just don't kill him. He tested him. So just know when opportunities come knocking, have the understanding and the wisdom and the discernment of what's from God or what's from Satan. Um, and regardless of what, always choose to do right. You know what I'm saying? Things go left, don't go left with it. Sometimes it's just your pruning season, And you just go through these tough battles in life, man, just to mold you for when the money do get there. You know, you stay at the top and you have great stewardship when it comes to your money. It's not always about money to go stunt, to go do, buy nice things and all that. We all like nice things, but it'll come. But you don't want to be, you know, a person that's just putting a band-aid on life and temporarily having temporary success. You want longevity. You want long-lasting success. You want to be fruitful. You want to be able to take care of your family, your kids, your girlfriend. Hell, I don't know who it is that you're looking after, because we all got somebody that we love. But you can't do that when you grabbing the devil dangling a carrot and you go snatch it like, up, there you go. See, I told you. He go after the low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? So nah, those don't always keep your integrities and your morals, man, high. But you know, I love y'all, and I just wanted to share that. You know, I was driving, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, somebody need to hear this story, and it was deep, man. It was deep, and I didn't know for sure I was being tested, but I just knew always do the right thing, and you can be being tested. You can, yeah. I've got plenty of more stories. I give you a bonus, dude. I went to go Halloween shopping with my family, and the dude gave me back an extra 25. I think what I was supposed to pay, what I was paying for was supposed to be like $50, and instead he gave me back 75. But I was on the run, I had to move, and I realized it because I had it wrapped up with the receipt. And I woke up the next day and I took it back and I said, "Yo, whoever this person is on this receipt, who his work is, he gave me too much, man. I had to bring this back, let y'all know that or whatever." And they said, "Man, you really brought this back? That's crazy." I said, "Yeah, man. You know, it's just the right thing to do." And he was like, "Man, most people would never did that, man. You know, he had a short drawer." I was like, "Yeah, man, that's messed up." I used to work retail and all that when I was younger. I had low entry level jobs, and I wouldn't want to see nobody messed up like that. I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me, so that's why I brought it back. And I remember the next day I had got a client that was referred to me from somebody else, and that client brought me a lot of, monthly income, to help me and my family and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, we all gotta love each other and just do what's right. But peace. I hope this message reached somebody that needed to hear it. Just always keep in mind, man, God will test you to test your faith. You know what I mean? God bless and have a good day.